Hi YouTube, this is Gold Digging to Happiness and welcome to my channel. I am here to do my very first journey to debt freedom video. This is not actually my start date. I actually started my journey to debt freedom in July of 2015 and I blog about it over at Gold Digging to Happiness. Hence the name of my channel here. So I started my journey to debt freedom, like I said, July 2015, following the death of my aunt. My aunt died a month before her birthday. She died July 9th. Her birthday is August the 9th. She would have been 63. Jesus. Yeah, she would have been 53. No, 63. I don't know. But something 3. And she could have retired, fully retired. It must have been 63. She could have retired in 2 years. She worked at a hospital as a nurse my whole life. And she, as a result of that, working in the emergency room as a nurse, she missed family gatherings, holiday gatherings. She didn't take a vacation. Like, work was her life. And I just did not want to live the same way. She didn't have children, and that may have been her plan, was to work all her life and she did make a good income and she could buy what she wanted to buy. She bought, and she did. She bought whatever she wanted. Gucci watches, Gucci sunglasses, a Cadillac, and I mean those things. If those things were important to her, and she had to work to get them, and that's what she did, then that's fine with her. But I just did not want to work my entire have to work life with 5 kids. So shortly after that, I decided to work my way out of debt. I gave myself 12 years to work my way out of debt. And I broke my debt down into categories, which included credit card debt, automobile debt, student loan debt, and then mortgage. Excuse me. And then I worked according to the totals on up. So when I started July 2015, I had $9,000 in credit card debt, about $27,000 in automobile debt. I have over $106,000 in student loan debt, and then my mortgage at that time was $136,000. Now, I have about $3,700 in credit card debt, maybe 2017 and 6 is $25,000 in automobile debt. I still have $106,000 in student loan debt, and my mortgage is down to $133,000. So, I am working that way to eliminate debt, and I plan to be finished with credit card debt this year. My husband and I will aggressively tackle our credit card. Actually, we are about $30,000 in automobile debt because my husband recently took out a bike loan. And then we'll work up to student loan debt, which is not a priority to me because I am on the human service loan forgiveness plan. And I am 3 years in and having 7 more years, as long as that plan is still in effect, before my loans will be forgiven. And so when I get to them is when I get to them, but I'm not really concerned about them unless that loan forgiveness plan just completely goes away. And then I have my mortgage. My debt started off like most other people, where you believe you have to finance a house, you have to finance a car, and then you continue to accumulate debt based on the payment that you can afford as opposed to the whole amount of what you're financing. So I've always been fairly responsible with my credit, but in 2015 2014, I want to say my husband and us separated. I lost my job. My husband and I separated. He went to New York, or we're separate. We were separate. Um, he went to New York. I was in North Carolina. I had all of this debt. By the way, everything is in my name except for the motorcycle loan. So the 2 cars are in my name, the mortgage is in my name, and all the credit cards are in my name because my husband doesn't believe in credit cards. So, um, and then the student loans. So, in 2014, when my husband left, I tried to get a loan. Well, actually, I lost my job and I was working two part-time jobs from August 2013 to maybe February or January of 2014, and then I lost one of the part-time jobs and was working one part-time job January 2014, and that was just enough to pay my mortgage. So my car payment wasn't getting paid, and maybe the minimum balances on my credit cards were getting paid. Then I gained full-time employment in April, but it was not a permanent position. And then my husband left in September of 2014. So we had just a few months to get our finances, to bring ourselves above water from the job loss. And then my income was completely cut in half. And so I started when I lost the job, the part-time job, the second part-time job. I did a loan modification for my mortgage, and that was in March or April 2014. And they did not get the modification complete until December of 2014. And then my payment started in February of 2015, and I had to pay 3 payments on time, and then the permanent modification went into effect. So, in the midst of all of that, my credit score dropped, of course, and debt just seemed to be overwhelming. So, actually in 2014, after being overwhelmed with all these bills and all of this debt, I put myself on a budget. I talked to a couple of credit counseling agencies, and they were giving me the basics: increase your income, sell a couple of things, and decrease expenses. But it was just, my debt was so overwhelming, it just did not seem realistic. So I did little things here and there, but I just wasn't seeing a significant difference. But then, following the death of my aunt in 2015, it just really dawned on me that I don't want to have to work for the rest of my life and miss out on creating experiences and memories with my kids. So initially my goal was to retire in 12 years, and I was giving myself 12 years to eliminate all of my debt. So at that time, July 2015, all of my debt totaled about $301,000. And as of today, my total debt, including my mortgage, is $273,000. Things have gotten eliminated here and there, but I have aggressively been tackling my credit card payments. And although you did hear me mention a spouse, my spouse has not completely bought into Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman. He does save money. So he pays his bills, he saves some, and then he completely blows the rest. He is an impulse shopper, and he just does not believe in, even if he saved the money, say he gave himself like a $50 spending amount and he put the rest of his money, $500 in a savings, he would always keep in the back of his mind that $500 is there for him to spend. So that's what he does. And then he never believed in credit cards. He always discouraged me from getting them, as well as car payments. He hates to have to pay a car payment. But he doesn't hate to have to pay the loan payment, which is crazy. But anyway, so I actually have been paying my credit cards on my own, aggressively. And so I started with 10 and now I'm down to 2, and they are the major credit cards with the highest balances and the highest interest. So that is where I am. After I completely pay my credit cards and cut them up, we together, my spouse and I, will be aggressively tackling the automobile loans and then my student loans, maybe, and the mortgage. And overall, I guess my goal would be to again have the option to work, maybe not retire or maybe work part-time. Um, and then eventually I would like a boat. My kids and I love the water. My whole family loves the water and outdoors. And then I would like to have a vacation home to leave for my kids when I'm gone, so that if for no other reason they come together, they will come together at the vacation home and spend a week and make sure their kids know each other and all that type of stuff. So, that is where I am. Again, I am at $273,000 worth of debt. My goal is 5 years. 5 years is always where I set my goals. I don't know why. I had a 5 year goal, 5 goals, 5 years from 2006 to 2011, and I actually completed them in 2012. My 5 goals in 2006, coincidentally following the death of my brother, was to graduate from undergrad, go to and graduate from grad school, start my career, buy a house, get married. And I did. So in 2006 I started school, excuse me. I started back school in 2006 in social work. Graduated in 2008. I took 5 classes each semester for 4 semesters, and I graduated. And then in 2009, I started my full-time career as a social worker. In 2010, I got married, and I started grad school. In 2011, we purchased our house, and in 2012, I graduated from grad school. So, 5 years is usually, I can't see past 5 years. Although I have a 12-year goal to retire, 5 years is when I definitely want to be out of credit card, automobile, and at least undergrad student loan debt. So, like I said, I blog about my journey over at Gold Digging to Happiness, but I just feel like with all these kids and all this life and happiness and adventure, maybe not adventure because we don't go anywhere because we're in debt, it would be so much easier just to flick one of these expensive ass phones on, record, and edit it and put it up. So I plan on doing videos at least twice a month because I am really, really busy. I work full-time in child protective services, then I work part-time as a therapist, and then part-time again doing hair, and then I have 5 kids and 2 dogs and nieces and nephews, and a mom whom I adore, and a grandmother who I would love to spend more time with, but I have not figured out how to make that happen. Anyhow, so follow me on my journey as I share it with you guys, as well as, life with the kids and being a working mom and all of those great things. And please rate, comment, and subscribe, and check out my blog, which I will link below. And I will see you guys later with a whole bunch of more I'm getting out of debt videos.